is up, everyone? Welcome to round one, the start of the Portland Monthly Premodern Paper Magic Afternoon September 2025 tournament. We got two decks to show you, so let's get into those deck lists. First up, we have Marshall returning to the camera with UW Tron. It's been a few months since he's played this list, and I'm going to be honest, I don't quite remember exactly what his 75 was last time, but it looks like this time has a very similar game plan. He is playing a full playset of the Tron lands, Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant, and of course Urza's Tower, and is looking to use that mana to either power out a giant Decree of Justice, or just draw a ton of cards with Stroke of Genius, potentially even drawing your opponents out of cards, which would be a really fun win to see on camera. Otherwise, the deck reads very much as a blue-white control shell. We got a couple of Masticores in here as the only actual creatures in the deck. As for spells, there's a bunch, including Chromatic Sphere to help mana fix. Running 12 colorless lands does make it a bit tricky to hit your color pips sometimes. As mentioned, he has 4 Decree of Justice, 1 Disenchant, 2 Frantic Search, 4 Impulse, 1 Mana Leak, 3 Miscalculations, which is just slightly worse than Mana Leak, but the cycling could be super relevant, especially if he does have a lot of colorless mana. 1 of Powder Keg in the main, 2 Prohibits, 2 Skycloud Eggs, again for color fixing, 4 Stroke of Genius, 4 Swords to Plowshares, 1 to Zabo's Web. Important to note, he actually doesn't have manlands in this deck, doesn't have room for it. Again, 12 colorless sources, and 2 Wrath of Gods. In addition to those 12 Tron lands, we do have 4 Darkar Wastes, 1 Flooded Strand, 1 Island, 2 Plains, and 4 Skycloud Expanse. In the sideboard, it looks like he's got 1 Annul, 2 COP Reds, 2 Disenchants, 4 Hydroblasts, 2 Teferi's Response, 2 Meddling Mage, the second to Zabo's Web, and 1 Warmth. Overall, a really cool list. We did get to see some really fun matches the last time he was on camera, but before that happens, who's he playing against? Next up is Justin H with Deadguy Ale. Now, it's been a minute since we've seen an actual true Deadguy Ale list. Usually, players in our meta play black-white control, aka what's been dubbed playable Deadguy Ale, but I do think this is still a very good deck. It definitely does still top 8, and Justin is bringing a very interesting version of it. For creature threats, you do have your usual 4 Nantuko Shades, 4 Hypnotic Specters, and 4 Exalted Angels, which I will say is maybe a little light on creature threats. I do like to see, Carnophage or Black Knight or something like that, just a little something extra, but he makes up for that with the one of Death Grasp as a way to close out the game from seemingly out of nowhere, especially if he has enough Dark Rituals to power it out. As for other spells, he also has 4 Duress, 1 Smother, 4 Swords to Plowshares, 2 Seal of Cleansings, 4 Vindicates, and 3 Gerard's Verdict. He also is running 3 Phyrexian Arena for additional card draw. As for lands, he's keeping it pretty simple with 3 Plains, 8 Swamps, 2 Wastelands, 2 City of Brass, and 4 Caves of Quellos. Sideboard, he does have some fun tech with a 1 of Scour, which is a 4-drop instant. Remove target enchantment from the game, search his controller's graveyard, hand, and library for all cards with that same name, and remove them from the game. It is 4 mana, which is a bit tough to play in a deck that's a little more low to the ground, but it's still a really fun include. In addition to that, he's got 2 Disenchants, 2 COP Reds, 2 Diabolic Edicts, 4 Withered Wretch, which is also just another really good card to have in the main for a couple of extra threats, 3 Engineered Plagues, and 1 Planner Void. Overall, a really sweet list. Both of these decks are actually beautiful too. I forgot to mention all the signatures in Marshall's, but yeah, both of these lists absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to see the games, so let's just get into it. And here we go. Marshall is on the left, Justin is on the right. Looks like a little roll to see who goes first. Looks like we're doing high roll here, and Marshall will take the play. We got our new dice as well. We've had them for, I guess, 2 monthlies now. Spin down dice, hopefully a little easier for players to use. Reduce errors on camera, helping out where we can. Let's see if both players want to keep their hands here. Marshall looks like he has a little bit of a land light hand, but is going to keep it. Okay, he does have a Darkar Waste and a Tower. So 2 land hand, I guess that's pretty good. And Justin not having a turn 1 play here. Kind of huge. The deck really does want to go Dark Rit into Hippie, getting threats down early as possible. Marshall is playing out a Tower and say go. Or sorry, a plant and say go. Does look like a tower, but it's the the other one. Okay, there's a duress. Seeing that tower makes Justin go, what is going on here? Looks like we see a Wrath of God, Disenchant of Swords, Decree of Justice, and 2 Strokes of Genius. Now, notably, none of these are actually playable right now, except for the swords, which is what Justin is going to take. Is he clearing the way for a ritual or something? Nope, just going to say go. Marshall will be very nice and play open for us. Alright, there's a tower. 2 parts of Tron assembled. Just missing... Actually, is that the mines? This art always messes me up. I think it's the mines. I don't think it's power plant. So he is missing power plant. Okay, there's a fairly cast hippie for Justin. You can see why the swords was a target. And Marshall actually just gonna cycle a decree here, needing to find either a white source past a Wrath of God, or hopefully drawing a swords. I'm gonna tap 2, or sorry, 1, not yet, for the filter artifact that I'm totally blanking on. I know I just said it before. Alright, we got hippie coming in, and we're gonna get a little game of chance here. Hippie discarding a card at random. And looks like, yes, we will roll for it. 6 is a reroll. And hitting 1 of the Strokes of Genius. So still 1 left. Marshall could play open again. Okay, he is going to be very nice and do so. Doesn't have to, but again, we are very casual here. Anything that makes it a better viewing experience for you guys. Alright, the Antuco Shade is coming out. Good use of unspent mana for sure. And interestingly, Marshall filtering just to draw a card here. And then cycling as well. He could have used the artifact to get his second white source, right? To Wrath of God? Ooh, does still find the plains though, and we are gonna Wrath. Chromatic Sphere, that's the freaking artifact I was blanking on. Yeah, he could have done that. I guess just wanting to make sure he found the land first is relevant, but that was a big gamble that did pay off. And now Marshall very... Oh yeah, there's another hippie. Mixing up the mana cast there, but yep. Second hippie away. I was gonna say Marshall being able to sit back and relax a little bit, but now that another hippie... Oh, and I do believe that is now Tron. That is a power plant. Alright, that sword's in Justin's hand. Not doing a lot. That Vindicate, though. That Vindicate could put in some work. Hitting one of the Tron lands seems super relevant. Now, Marshall can just Stroke of Genius in response. Let's see, he can draw 5 cards. No, 6. I think he draws 6 cards right now. Okay, so hippie gonna hit first. In response, we are gonna cast Stroke of Genius. Yeah, I believe it is 6. He's gonna take a point to do that. Alright. That is a lot of cards. Now, there's a good chance Justin does hit something relevant, but at the same time, Marshall just really insulated his hand. If Justin had hit the Stroke of Genius, that would have been an absolute disaster, so that was definitely not worth the bargain. Okay, there's another power plant. So Justin probably wants to hit the power plant on the board now. He's going to take a point to Vindicate and, yeah, hit the power plant. Makes sense. Then say go. Now, what are the odds Marshall has another power? What are the odds he just drew it? Wait, no, that was a mine. But he did have the power plant anyway, so not super relevant, unfortunately. That Vindicate was a good idea, but Marshall, once again, has Tron online, has 9 mana up, and has an absolute grip of cards. He's actually going to have to discard some stuff because he has that disenchant. Or actually, does he have 7? Oh no, he has exactly 7. Yeah, he could just pick up that disenchant, I think, at this point. Justin does have a Phyrexian Arena in hand, I believe we saw, so disenchant is super relevant. And there's a Wrath of God too. Alright, tapping for 2. For a Skycloud Egg. This egg, you pay 2 into it, and you get blue-white, and draw a card. So it is a slightly more expensive Chromatic Sphere that's very specific. He is going to do that. Alright, we're counting floating mana here. He's got a blue and a white. He's going to use the blue and one of the floating to impulse. There's a Masticore. There's also a Swords. So if he doesn't want to waste his Wrath of God, he might just pull the Swords here. That is more efficient for sure. So yeah, chose the Swords. Going to use that white. 2 Swords to Hippie. Justin will go back up to 21, having only taken a point of damage off his own cave. And there's a Tesabo's Web, which looks like will be cast here. In this instance, it's just a draw spell. It's not super relevant in this matchup. I think the only thing Justin has that hits is 2 Wastelands, and the chances are that Justin is not going to be tapping those Wastelands for mana. He'll be using them to blow up Tron lands. Or try to keep Marshall off of color, but I think keeping Marshall off of 7 mana from 3 lands is a little bit more relevant. Okay, there's the... Is that the 3rd Hippie? Yeah. Hippie number 3. And looking at this arena, deciding if he wants to play it. Looks like he will. He does have a Tainted Field. I must have missed the Tainted Fields in his deck photo. Maybe I called him out, I don't remember, but either way, yeah, a couple of Tainted Fields in a primarily swamp heavy deck does make a lot of sense. I feel like Tainted Fields, or just Tainted Lands in general, would get a lot better if we introduced the other fetch lands to the format. That's a huge can of worms that I don't really want to get into, but it could be interesting. I think it'd be a fun format to test. I don't think it would be something I want to permanently have in Premodern. Anyways, Masticore coming down, using a lot of colorless mana to shoot the Hippie twice, and things looking pretty dire for Justin. Now, Justin does have a Swords in hand, so he can deal with the Masticore as it stands. But he is starting to run out of threats. And Marshall is still at a pretty healthy 14. And this only gets worse for Justin as the game goes on. Marshall at this point is just looking for... Yep, there's the Swords. Taking Marshall up to 18. Marshall is literally just looking for a Decree of Justice. As soon as they find one, I think it's game over. Now, because this is Deadguy Ale and not White-Black Control, Justin is not running Wrath of Gods in main. Now, he can get Engineered Plagues from sideboarding in game, 2 to help take care of that. And there we go. Yeah, just as I feared, a bunch of 1/1 soldiers, 11 in fact, and that is going to end the game in 2 turns unless Justin does something about it. And yep, don't forget to even draw a card. Decree, such a good card in Premodern. Basically the win con of control decks, other than player concession. And yeah, we're gonna swing in for 11. Justin down to 10. Can you stop? Well, you have to stop all of them, but can you stop 2 of them? And that's an angel. I don't know if that's enough though. I mean, it buys him a turn. I think it just buys him 1 turn. Actually, no, it doesn't. It's a triggered ability. He's just gonna die anyways. Yeah. No, he's just dead. Exalted Angel does have lifelink, but it's a lifelink triggered ability. And Marshall's actually going to respond here. Stroke of Genius for a boatload. And if he finds... I mean, a Swords actually does give Justin another turn. He could have floated Counterspell mana, actually. But, again, I don't think it matters. Justin blocks 1, takes 10. He's at 9. He dies before the damage, or before the lifelink trigger. Life gain trigger, I should stop calling it lifelink. So I think Marshall explained this to him as well. Doesn't actually need a Swords here, but we're just scooping it up anyways and go to game number 2. Yeah, an Exalted Angel that late, unfortunately, against a horde of 1/1s, not good enough. If that had come down even a turn earlier, I think that could have been a different game. However, Marshall had just drawn, what, like 12 cards or something, so the chances that it was sticking around, even though we know, I guess Marshall did have his Swords too. Very interesting. Now, Justin could keep his Swords in, but I don't think it's irrelevant, so I think he probably sideboarded him out. I would have brought in Engineer Plagues, some more enchantment removal, or artifact removal, I should say, because that also just kills the Masticore if he doesn't have Regenerate. Looks like we're gonna get, okay, Gerard's Verdict here. Marshall gets to choose. Any land he pitch does give Justin 3 more life, but life totals in this match for Marshall doesn't matter a ton. As we saw, he just gets enough 1/1s down that late game he finishes things off in 1 or 2 swings. And is he pitching 2 lands here? He is. That's a good 6 life there for Justin. Power Plant and a Sky Cloud Expanse, looks like. Marshall here with the Flooded Strand on the field. Opting not to crack it. There's really not a reason to until you need the mana. Not having shock lands or lands that enter tapped that you can fetch for in this format does make fetch lands kind of a use them when you need them. There is the small, there's another Draws Verdict. There's a small use case where if you don't want to draw land, you do improve your chances slightly by cracking before draw. Okay, we are cracking the Flood Strand here. And, okay, filter. I think this is just Marshall wants to draw another card. Look at his options for what he has to discard. One other interesting thing about this Deadguy Ale list is it only runs the 3 Gerard's Verdict. I'm a big proponent of running the full 4. This is one of the very few 2-for-1 cards the deck runs. It looks like we're pitching a swords and another land, so that's another 3 life for Justin. Ooh, and is he going to follow it up with a duress? He is. Just picking the hand apart. You get a Wrath of God or a Stroke of Genius. Now, I think you can play through the Wrath of God. The Stroke of Genius is just a little too good. Oh no, we are going with the Wrath of God. Okay. Stroke just refills Marshall's hand so many times. We saw it happen at instant speed several times in game 1. Of course, beautiful signed copy as well. Alright, we have Tower and we have Mine. Just missing the power plant, which Marshall did actually pitch that first Gerard's Verdict. So he would have had natural Tron on turn 4. Somehow, Tron players always have it. Ooh, there's a Wasteland and a Vindicate in Justin's hand. So he can actually take out both of the lands here if he decides to go the super aggressive route. And I think you do. Okay, we're going to Vindicate here. No, we're playing an Angel. Okay. Opting for the more aggressive plan. Still going to Wasteland. And just say go after that. Chromatic Sphere for Marshall there. Not having much action in hand. And Justin, unfortunately, missing the second white source. He needs to flip that Angel and really start pushing damage through, but we'll still get in for 2 here. And I think you do still Vindicate. I mean, at this point, maybe you Vindicate the Sky Cloud Expanse? That might be the call. Alright, yeah. Vindicating the Sky Cloud Expanse makes sense. Keep him off of blue. And Marshall, a little land light here. Alright, Justin does find his white source, flips the Angel, swings in for 4, and life total going up even more. Marshall just going to pass here. Still a little... Is that another Vindicate? Oh my gosh. Justin just laying the hammer down with these Vindicates. And yep, don't forget, gain some life. Clean 6s across the board here for Justin. Now life total might be somewhat relevant. Alright, there's another Vindicate on the Mine. Ooh, Teferi's Response. That does counter it. Marshall does get to draw a couple of cards. Super relevant. That might be enough to help him get into it. All he needs to do is find a Swords. Or a Wrath of God. And he's cooking again. Alright, Sky Cloud Expanse and pass. Marshall only has 1 Flood Strand in his deck. Oh, get an Angel. Down to 5. Which makes it easy, because I always get that mixed up with Sky Cloud Expanse, so knowing that he cracked it early on. But we are gonna Stroke of Genius here, just for 1. Ooh, there's the Swords off the top. That is so brutal. On your upkeep. Swords your Angel. Gain another 4. And just a lot of lands here for Justin. Does find a Phyrexian Arena. Definitely not worried about that life loss. We are going to kick a Prohibit here, though. No card advantage for you. Is that another Stroke of Genius in Marshall's hand? I think it is. I think he actually has the potential to get back into this, which is crazy because he was on the ropes. Stabilized at 5. There's a mana leak. Got a swords. We got a City of Brass. Like a dark ritual. Okay, yeah, big. Well, just for 2, I guess. Stroke of Genius for 2. That is his second one. Did he find Tron? No, he's got a tower. He still needs a power plant. There is a Frantic Search. Frantic Search, kind of nasty with Tron lands. If you actually have them enabled, you can do all kinds of broken things. Alright, pitching counterspell and a land. Graveyard getting a little messy there, but I don't think it really matters. You don't bring in graveyard hate against this deck. Okay, playing out a tower. So 2 towers and a mine. There's a Seal of Cleansing from Justin. Probably worth just playing it out, just to have it. It is super relevant against the Masticore if Marshall ever gets to a point where you can't pay to regenerate it. There's a straight disenchant for Marshall. I think that's a second. A dark ritual there. Yep, 2 dark rituals and a swords there for Justin. Sky Cloud Egg. Say go. Oh, he did bring in the E-Plagues. Yeah, super relevant, makes sense. Marshall's main win con is swinging with a bunch of 1/1 soldiers, so if you can E-Plague on soldier, it does shut him down pretty thoroughly. However, we did see that Marshall has a disenchant in hand, so this unfortunately not sticking around. There's also maybe something to be said for holding on to it until you need it. Doing it the turn after Marshall casts a big decree. Granted, Marshall would most often be casting, I guess, on Justin's end step, so I guess this makes sense. Yeah, you shouldn't necessarily just hold it up. I mean, when you have that much life, maybe hold it up, because you're not getting one-shotted. But, okay, there is the disenchant. Yep. Alright, we saw another Stroke of Genius, another Frantic Search. Get a Frantic Search here. Finds. I think this is his first decree. Pitching a Masticore. Missing his land drop here actually, which is kind of surprising. Pitching an Impulse as well. There you go. Now he can decree here for 4. That is relevant. It looks like that might be what happens. No, I'm gonna stroke for 3. Alright, 4. Hey, there's the power plant. Found it. Pass to you. Tons of mana up now. 14 mana total, so you can decree for 11. Yep. This will take a bit longer than last game, but you can definitely start to eat away at that massive life total of Justin's. Ooh, I think that was a Death Grasp. Marshall's at 5. With those double dark rituals, he could absolutely Death Grasp. Does Marshall have a counterspell? He has a miscalc, I think. I don't know if he has anything else. You could absolutely Death Grasp for 5 minimum. Do you go for more? I guess here. You have, is that 3 Dark Rituals? I mean, I think you leave up some mana to pay for a mana leak or something like that. Are we only Death Grasping for 5? Marshall can just swords one of his soldiers and stay alive. Okay, there's a miscalc. Paying 1 for a Dark Ritual. Oh, he has the Prohibit. Oh no. Prohibiting the Dark Rit. Oh no, that is brutal. Yeah, Justin all tapped out. And we're just going to decree for another massive amount, and that's enough. Justin has seen enough, and Marshall takes it down in 2. That was kind of crazy. If Justin had Dark Ritual before, that might have been a slightly different game. Prohibit would not have been able to catch that Death Grasp. Oh my god, that is crazy. Well, thanks to all you guys for watching. Those were some great games. Thanks to both players. If you made it this far, make sure you like the video, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. Those 2 things are one of the best ways to help what I'm doing. If you've been subscribed for a while, consider joining that Patreon. As little as $1 a month gets your name up here with all these other wonderful patrons. Honestly, it means so much that you guys want to support the channel. Money from the Patreon goes towards gear upgrades, travel expenses to go to other tournaments outside my hometown, as well as just helping make higher quality videos in general. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.